Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had an absolutely wonderful and fantastic week. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of sunny Florida. It is getting warmer as we speak. I actually cannot believe that we are almost into April, you all. I don't know. I feel like I blinked and we're heading into April, which is crazy. But nonetheless, let me know again where you are tuning in from in the chat here. So if you're brand new to mental health moment is essentially about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. One of the things I preach often and I've written books about is holistic self-care because it's not just for you. Self-care is absolutely not selfish and it's not just for you. When you take care of yourself and you grow as a person, it does impact you, which is great, and it also impacts the people around you. So that's a bonus, right? So a couple of quick announcements before I share today's mental health moment tips. I know some of you ask sometimes where I'm speaking next, and the ones that are open to the public, where I'm speaking at coming up here, if you happen to be in the area and you want to join. One is on Saturday, April 12th. I'll be speaking at the International Nanny Training Day event, which is in Clearwater. Super excited. So whether you're a nanny, whether you're a parent, whether you're a caregiver of some sort, if you work with kids, it's going to be an amazing event. I'm super excited to be one of the speakers that day, sharing about how nannies or caregivers can take care of themselves and how can we help to enhance the mental health of children as well who we're taking care of. And then the other event is, just looking these up here, on Thursday, April 17th. And that one will be in Tampa at Kaiser University. It is for a project manager group. However, it's also open to the public. So if you're in project management or in that particular space, I will be talking about emotional intelligence that day and how we can use that as well as resilience to get through the busy day to day of our lives and work life balance. So okay, that one's private. I was just looking at a couple coming up here so I can let you all know. And then there's another one, but I'll let you all know when I get that information. Okay. So those are my announcements. You can always also go to drnekeshiahammond.com/events and see the updated events, the ones, of course, that are open to the public. I will share it here first with you all because I love you all. And I don't have quite a date for it yet, but I did. Anyhow, I will be doing, some of you attended last year, actually, my growth mindset and self-care summit, which was virtual last year. It will be in person this year. And we are finalizing date and location, but it will be in 2025. So as soon as I have that information, I will, of course, let you all know and we'll put on the website and all the great things. So I'll actually be hosting that event, but I will let you know about that as well. And there's more events coming, but again, I will, myself and my amazing, wonderful team will do our best to put it on the website as quickly as we can. Um, and thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Okay, so on today's mental health moment, I wanted to share with you all today because, there's this, well, I talked to a lot of groups about resiliency, which is I think is a really cool thing because sometimes we may think that life just knocks us down. So fill in the blank for you, a situation, an event that happened to you or around you or someone else close to you, like it just, right, those bumps in the road that happen, things that are difficult for us to deal with, maybe we feel like we can't get through and all those sorts of things, but the reality is you are stronger than you think you are. It's a matter of tapping into that inner strength though, and resilience is a real thing. So bouncing back from challenges in your life, again, it could be something that happened directly to you, or sometimes there's things that happen to very close loved ones around us that's just very impactful and they impact us too, of course. Right. But either way, I want to share with you today like a couple of tips of how to bounce back from that. How do you work on having that resilient mindset that I feel like I preach always on mental health moment, right? That's what mental health moment is all about, right? How do you become the best version of who you are and continue to be a better version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. Today we're talking about how can you bounce back from those sorts of life challenges, if you will. And one of the ways to do it, this takes practice. So for my note takers out there, I know some of you take notes or, all the things and start to implement these things, which is exciting to me because I hope for you that you grow in the way that's best for you as a person, of course. That's why I'm here to help you all, hopefully. But one thing to think about, and it takes practice, is starting to reframe your thought process. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying this is an easy thing to do, but whatever it is that life has thrown your way, because life will do that, when you work on asking yourself things like, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn? Or asking yourself, like, what is this supposed to teach me? Right. Or telling yourself, this too shall pass. Or whatever it is that you need to get in the mindset of asking yourself or telling yourself through that situation. Depending on who's around you, you may have the most supportive people around you, which is amazing, or not. We just all have different resources, but you can yourself also do work on doing the inner work so you can become your cheerleader too. Because sometimes, whatever phase of life we're in, we just have to be our own cheerleader sometimes, and that's okay. And I mean that mentally, even like getting to a place where you are reframing the things that are happening to you. I know that it doesn't always make the hurt lessen because there's just really hard things to deal with, but it can help to get you through that situation, if that makes sense. So again, if you were asking yourself, okay, I know this is a really difficult, hard situation that I'm in, but what am I supposed to learn from this? How can I grow as a person through this? What is this trying to teach me? Like those types of questions, and maybe reminding yourself that things are happening for your highest good, even though it may not seem like that at the time, right? I mean, it's hard. Like there's just hard, difficult things that we go through and heartbreaking things that we go through. But how can you work on getting through that? And also, what do you need during that time? Because sometimes you need, and this is, I guess, my point number two, sometimes you need, I strongly encourage you to have some type of support system in place. I could go through so much research about how important social support is for your mental health. What does that mean? Well, it depends. You may have the most wonderful friends in the world who are supportive of you, which is amazing, or not. You just may be like, nope, the friends or the people around me are toxic. Or you might have the most supportive family members, or maybe someone at a place of worship, your next door neighbor, like whomever it is for you, a partner, whomever it is for you, the people that celebrate you, the people that cheer you on, the people that help you get through life, that group of people. And if you don't have that group of people, um, I promise you there are good people in the world. So my belief, no matter what the news and everyone else, whatever, like the world's always falling apart. It seems like if you look at anything on social media, but the reality is there's good people out there who want to be supportive of you, in your journey, whatever that may look like, whether it's a support group, whether it's um, somewhere where you work or wherever in your life, there are good people in the world who do want to support you through whatever it is you're going through. So, case in point, I want you to remember that. And then the other thing to think about, and let me go back for a second, because when I talk about like reframing your thoughts, it's called reframing. Actually, if you Google it, there's a ton of research on that as well. It's not just thinking like, oh, this horrible thing happened to me. Like tomorrow will be better. It'll be amazing. Like it's hard sometimes, right? We're not just we're not just light switches. Our emotions aren't light switches. We're automatically, you're going to just, wake up and be happy about a really hard and stressful situation. But it is saying that throughout there is narrative that you tell yourself. So some of you will tell yourself things that like things are your fault, or the self-blame game will start, or the guilt game will start, right? But those are just thoughts. It may not even be true because we tell ourselves things that are not true all the time. All right, and we distort our thinking, but we're telling ourselves something. So while you're in this whatever situation that you're in, if you're in this situation, you may be right now at a peak, right? Some of you at peaks, you're like, life is good, I'm doing amazing, which is awesome. And some of you are in a valley where you're like, this is my low point. Like this is hard. I'm in a stressful situation. I'm dealing with, fill in the blank, a thing, right? Life is lifing. Like wherever you're at. The most important thing though is the self-talk, and how do you start to reframe the things that are happening, and also knowing and remembering, if you remember anything out of today's mental health moment, I really want you to remember, because it's true, that you are stronger than you think you are. But sometimes we will tell ourselves all sorts of things, like the self-doubt will come in, imposter syndrome may come in, negative thinking may come in, past traumas may come in. Like our brain is filled with a whole bunch of stuff until we start to really recognize, like, wait a minute, I am strong. Maybe for you, it's affirmations. I'm a huge fan of affirmations. So maybe for you, it's even affirmations. You have to literally start to retrain your brain, like, I am strong. I can get through this. I've already gotten through my hardest days anyhow, right? Like remembering, like really remembering who you are and how strong you can be, right? The other thing I want to share though, I always share this when I talk about resilience is though, you know, to be fair, there's always a spectrum of things that happen to us. So there's just minor things that we can get over in a day, right? Someone, I don't know, pulls out in front of us in traffic. It's annoying. We're mad at the person. We'll, hopefully we'll get over it pretty quickly. And then there's things that happen to us that take maybe weeks, months, or years to sort of process and heal from. So I always want to make a disclaimer that our problems, if you will, are always on a spectrum. So it's also important then to understand, how do you react to that, and what is it that you really need in this moment. So again, you probably don't need 3 years of therapy if someone pulled out in front of you and upset you for a day, right? But if there was some type of major trauma in your life, or some type of incident where you're really having a difficult time and struggling to process, and it's coming up, it's causing lack of sleep or problems eating, or whatever way it shows up for you, then also think about, what is it you need. Maybe there's a professional element, as in therapy, as in a coach, as in a mentor, as in someone else, right, that can help you get through as well. Or sometimes it's friends and family members if it's something that doesn't arise to that level. So I'm saying that to say that it's important that also you assess for you, like, what is it that I need right now? Which is a common theme that I talk about often on Mental Health Moment, and remind you all to ask yourself and check in with yourself of, what do you need, right? How are you doing? Like 3 questions I always want to remind you all to ask yourself. One, how am I doing? Checking in with you, because it's really, really easy to check in with everyone else and everything else around you except for you. But how am I doing? The second thing is, what do I need physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally? And then the third thing is, what step can I take today in order to improve my life? And the baby steps count too. So I want to remind you of that today. So I hope that, you know, the theme of this year so far, I feel like the last couple months of Mental Health Moment has really been about our mindset shifts, which is important. Sometimes there's a lot happening again in our lives, in the world, on social media, and the news, like things just get very heavy, or things that are happening in your life. But I do want to remind you again, you can bounce back from life challenges. Your brain sometimes will tell you you can't, or tell you, like, we say all sorts of things to ourselves that are just not true. But you can dig deep and have that inner strength. You are allowed to also rely on other people, connect with other people who are positive and who are good for you and who will uplift you and who will help to get you through. Um, Maybe that's a therapist. Again, maybe that's a coach, mentor, person at a place of worship, your neighbor, your coworker, your friend, your sister, your brother, like whoever, right, fills that space for you and helps you. Um, and also recognizing that you have gotten through your toughest days thus far, right? You have. And sometimes we have to remember, you almost have to like remember a past incident, let's say, and you're like, wait a minute, I really, okay, I did get through that. Like remind yourself of your strength, of your inner strength and how you got through. So I wanted to share that with you all again today because I know that sometimes we can just think that it's like you can't get through something, but the reality is you can, but you have to take the steps in order to do that. And again, reframing your thoughts, which is a whole technique. It does take time depending on where you're at in your wellness journey. It's not an overnight process. I promise you, you can't just reframe something that happened to you yesterday and like magically your brain changes. It doesn't work like that. Just like exercise. There's no way if you said, I want to lose 20 pounds, you're not going to do something one day and magically you lose the 20 pounds. No, it takes time, right? Or you're building muscle or whatever it is your exercise goals are. It takes time. It's the same thing mentally. It takes time, but it takes practice. So you start practicing it and don't beat yourself up if there's certain days where like, oh no, I caught myself with the negative thinking cycle, which can happen. Don't beat yourself up for that. Just keep practicing the reframing. Keep asking yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? How can I get through? What do I need? Those are the type of questions to really ask yourself. And again, if you're at a place where you even say, I don't know what I need, maybe it's but you need help to have clarity, right? Which comes from a therapist or a coach or a mentor or friend, family member, or whomever, and someone can help you with that answer, right? And that's okay if you're in that space too. There's a lot of ways. I'm glad someone brought that up about, sort of releasing. Sometimes there's a lot of ways that you can really just release stress. I mean, there's physical ways, there's exercise, there's well, a lot of different types of exercises to physically kind of move stress out of your body. And then there's a lot of mental exercises that you can do, which we talk a lot about on mental health moment, of course, like mindfulness, taking a break, recharging. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. Um, and the mental shifts that you can make though really, really, really help because it's very easy to live life when things are going well. But when the stresses come, all of us have it, right? The life is lifing, the disappointments, the setbacks, whatever it is, it's especially during that time that your mindset is challenged. And if you know, okay, I'm going to go into this with a resilient mindset, I'm going to learn from this experience, I'm going to utilize my resources, whatever that may look like for you to get through, that helps you to hopefully better get through that situation. It still can be emotionally painful, but it can help you to get through. So that's my mental health moment for you all today. I hope that again that you start to at least practice those, reframing as you need them in your life, and yeah, and especially making sure to lean on people for support. Sometimes you don't have to go through life alone. You don't have to just I don't know. I always say there's no trophies for like physical or not physical. There's no trophies for emotional distress and suffering. Like you don't have to have a badge of like my life's falling apart and like there's no trophy for that, right? But it's more like how can you help yourself during that time? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to have all the emotions. It's okay to have that, but also you can also lean on other people to help you get through that situation as well. So I just want to remind you of that today. So I will be back as a wrap up mental health moment here. I will be back. I hope you all have an amazing week. Be blessed. Have a great rest of your week. Be blessed, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.